How's it going, guys? I know I haven't put out much recently. I've been working on a bunch of things, actually, and I'm just going to put this up as another placeholder because I just recently put up another placeholder episode. I'm waiting for footage to come back for this CCTV project that I was working on. If you guys don't know, I went off to 4 ancient cities in China: Chaozhou, Lijiang, Chengdu, and Dunhuang. I had amazing adventures, enough for a few amazing months of travel content for the JaYoe Nation. Fun stories of me and a small crew of people traveling around these places, investigating interesting locales, some funny banter, some interesting information, cultural and food and all sorts of stuff. Historical, it's very fun stuff. And I'm excited to deliver that to you because I had a great time on it, but I do have to wait for some clips that are coming from the director of the show, who promised to send me some of his high quality clips as soon as he's done with his version of the show, which I think he's done with. And so I'm just waiting for this, because as soon as that comes in, I'm going to announce my new channel, which is going to be called Nuance. And the new channel is going to house all of my sort of non-travel related topical discussions. A lot of like sort of this sort of thing. While I'm not on the road traveling on the trike, there will be sort of these sorts of talky episodes. Some of my actually more popular episodes on the channel. I have a feeling that Nuance will be a fairly popular channel, I hope. But until that content comes to me, I'm going to hold off on introducing Nuance to you guys, the actual channel, and putting content on there. So I'm just kind of biding my time a little bit. Another few things that I'm doing is I'm studying Chinese quite a bit, and there's a whole lot to be learned as far as I have a pretty solid understanding of Chinese, and I have a very solid foundation that's been built over the 10 years I've lived here. I know a lot of characters just from living here and taking a couple of classes when I originally came to China, but I felt like I'm kind of here during the pandemic. I never intended to be in China for so long. I always intended to be traveling and having Ningbo be my home base that I can come back to and things like this. But it seems like I'm here for a fairly long time, and I don't know how vaccination passports and all of this stuff is going to work with regards to ease of traveling, especially the type of traveling that involves crossing land borders on a bike. It's still quite messy. And I don't want to do, 20-day quarantines in every country I go to, enforced by in a hotel that I have to pay for, and getting tests here and there. I think that testing is going to be sort of part of life for the foreseeable future, but hopefully with a passport, or a good quality vaccine passport, and countries understanding the implications of those passports, then we will have more opportunity to kind of do our thing and travel around. I had intended actually to do a introduction to the channel and open the new channel with some new episodes, so that the new channel has some new episodes. Right now, the channel is loaded up with about 40 old episodes from this channel. I pulled off some of the topical, political, cultural kind of episodes. I pulled them off of this channel and I moved them. They're already on the new channel. I'm going to make it so people that live here in the JaYoe Nation channel don't have to expose themselves to maybe some more politically charged or culturally charged stuff. And we'll make sure that JaYoe Nation stays I won't say always happy, but objective and travel related. And however that works is however that works. We'll see. I'm very curious to see how many people move and support the new channel and how the growth on that new channel goes. But we'll see that. We have time. We have time. The other thing that's going on beyond Chinese lessons is Chinese New Year. The city here that I live in, Yinzhou, has been contacting me. Government officials have been contacting me, saying, "Hey, you know, you have a nice channel, and we would like to show you some things here during Chinese New Year." Now, obviously, this is a very, very unique Chinese New Year. I have spent many Chinese New Years here in Ningbo in particular, but in China, and I spent a couple outside, but probably the majority of the Chinese New Year periods I spend here. In fact, last year during Chinese New Year, I came back here to celebrate Chinese New Year with my family, and then the pandemic came, and then I ended up just having an extended stay. But what's kind of happening this year is that we're going to some family dinners. Eva is running around. Eva, my daughter, is now, you know, approaching 4.5, going on 5, and she's you know, she's getting older, and so she's wanting to play with Daddy, and so we're having it's just a family time during this period of time that you're not seeing me posting here on the channel. I was hoping that I could, like I said, have all that CCTV footage sort of trickling out so that you could see it, because I really didn't intend to produce too much footage of family life here. Well, we're waiting for that stuff, so I'm just kind of being a dad and staying here and just enjoying my time here in China. There have been some interesting developments in the whole China community, China vlogging community. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but there's all sorts of interesting issues that I want to talk about, and I'm leaving them for Nuance. So all sorts of things, whether they've been in the news or whether they've been here on YouTube. It's been somewhat stupid, to be honest, but it requires some voice, and the reason I named this new channel Nuance is because I'm not going to spout anti-China rhetoric, but I also consider myself not spouting unbroken positive China content. I just don't consider myself an anti-China YouTuber. I try to think that when I talk about a topic, I add some nuance in there from my personal experience, from the experiences of the countless people that I discuss kind of issues with, and I hash out my thoughts and my opinions, and I bring in the nuance of other people's ideologies and ideas and experiences. And I think it's really important that people add a little bit more nuance to their world so that they're not stuck in this, you know, confirmation bias bubble. So, you know, they're completely confirmed on everything that they like, everything that they believe in, because they're stuck in a bubble that everybody in that bubble believes that thing. And although some may think I'm in that bubble too, I try to consider myself a person that ventures outside of the bubble that I have around me. So the channel for Nuance is going to be hopefully adding some interesting perspectives to your existing perspective, hopefully adding some nuance to your opinions, and in return I'll be probably probing into my own ideas of how I interpret things and how I perceive things, and maybe adding some more nuance to the things that I think about. So I'm really excited about this, but I want to do it the right way. One of the things I'm doing is see that curtain. This is actually my daughter's room. I've converted it into a little bit of an office studio, and that curtain is polka dot. So we've changed it, and we got a gray one coming. So I think future Nuance episodes will probably be somewhat like this, and unless I'm outside, which I'll be outside quite a bit, but I think I'll be here and there'll be a gray background. The thing I like about gray is that Nuance is about finding the gray in things, and it's not just about black and white. It's about the nuance in between. It's the mixing of the two sides and trying to find some sort of middle ground. Obviously, we're all on a spectrum, and I'm going to open up on Nuance about what I believe in, why I believe in it, how I've come to those beliefs. I'll talk about any number of things. We'll get into more about that in my Nuance introduction video that'll be coming up later. I felt like, holy crap, I should post something today because it's important to make sure that you guys know that I'm still around. It's been nice, actually. If you noticed, I haven't been too aggressive in the comment section on my videos recently. I have really unplugged. There's some weird YouTube politics going on with regards to people who are talking about China in a positive light, and I'm sure you've heard it in my last video. You could see I was a little bit frustrated, and what I did is I just sort of unplugged. And when I unplugged, it was really, really cathartic, and I think it was really necessary. And I'm just kind of like enjoying family life, you know, just taking a deep breath. Getting my thoughts about me, waiting for the CCTV footage to come in, enjoying my Chinese New Year. Typically, Chinese New Year is a pretty hectic time for family. Excuse me. Oof. For families. That was a coffee burp. Brought to you by Starbucks. But yeah, we're going to be doing some good stuff. I have some really, I think that Nuance is going to be great. The other thing about Nuance is it's going to have more interviews and like discussions with people, and we might invite some of my staunchest dissenters on that. I'm thinking about maybe if you think that might be a good idea. We'll see. Nuance will be an explorative project, an experiment, let's say. I've started a number of channels, if you guys don't know this. I've started Global Reefs for all my reef tank stuff. I've started Vlogger One-on-One, which was an interview series of different vloggers. I've started a gear-related channel that was the JaYoe gear reviews for travel gear and stuff. And what I realized is that if you don't have the enthusiasm for a channel, if you don't have the ability to post content on that channel on a regular basis, it's not going to survive. And they were sort of failed experiments. I would love to do a video channel that's only about reef tanks and that kind of hobby. They actually do really well for me. The problem is that I just don't have that much content to put on in that category. Vlogger One-on-One, for example. It only exists as long as I have vloggers to interview. And if I'm not doing more than one a week, well, the channel fizzles. And so I want to make sure that a channel has content. And so the experiment was started back when the pandemic started. And I was sitting around. I had these opinions. I had seen the pandemic doing different things in different countries, and I had a real opinion about that. And I started sharing my opinion. And then from opinion, it became somewhat political, because there was a ton of politics related to the pandemic, just an insane amount. And then from the politics of the pandemic, it led me into the Let's Talk China show, and that got me discussing things, and I found out that I really enjoyed it. And I actually can blather around quite a bit, man. I can just... And I actually enjoy it. Some of you guys enjoy it too. Maybe not all of y'all, which is why I'm separating the channel off. So I'm trying to find a home for that part of me that I've discovered, and I think I have done that. And I'm excited to see where that's going to go. I'm kind of excited to see where it's going to go in the near future, but I'm also really excited to see where it's going to go when I do get back on the road. I have a feeling that, as I travel, I'll notice things in societies as I travel, and I can stop the trike, open up the camera. Instead of this backdrop, I'll pick the most gorgeous place in that day's ride, and I'll just talk about something in depth from my personal experience. I mean, I don't know if you guys know this, but when I cycle around the world, which is something that I intend to do, which I've been trying to do, I listen a lot to podcasts, political podcasts from all different perspectives. And so oftentimes I'll have very, very interesting insights on the road that I sort of keep to myself because I feel like they might lean a little bit, but I do feel like they're important because they lend some color to an issue or some nuance, like I said, to an issue. And so this will be my opportunity to do those things that I normally kept inside even when I was on the road. And we'll leave this channel for the, whoa, love travel, and oh, this is amazing. Look at this guy doing this thing, and look at this, this place that's, so beautiful and interesting in this such and such a way. So, yeah, super, super excited about that. Yeah, I hope you're doing well. I hope if you do celebrate Chinese New Year, you're having a good beginning of the Chinese New Year. I think it's the 12th, right? February 10th right now, so we got a couple of days before the actual New Year, but everybody's already taken time off. This Chinese New Year has been very strange for China because people don't have an opportunity to, travel as freely as they would have, 2 years ago. And even a year ago, before the pandemic was found, people started to travel. It was only when they got to where they were going that the pandemic revealed itself, or the epidemic revealed itself, and in China became lockdown post Chinese New Year. Whereas now, China's a little bit more prepared, and they don't want to have an outbreak that is uncontrolled. So they're saying, before you guys go travel on Chinese New Year, let me just recommend that you stay home. As a matter of fact, the government here in Yinzhou is asking me to make a video. I actually made a video about what I'm doing with my family here in China in order to enjoy Chinese, because you can still enjoy Chinese New Year. It's just enjoy it in a different way. Instead of traveling halfway across the country, we're staying at home. We're cooking some tangyuan. We're, telling funny stories and singing songs and things like this. And they want to encourage, they want to make some propaganda. They want to make some propaganda to encourage people to enjoy their lives while they're here in China. Isn't that funny? Isn't that a little nuance, that propaganda is not always such a bad thing, especially here in China, because, they came up to me and they said, we want people to feel comfortable staying at home during this Chinese New Year so that they maybe can see some things to do, they can see other people and empathize with them and their situations. In America, people were empathizing with people telling stories about how they were coping with lockdown. That was propaganda in a number of ways, and there was a lot of federal money that was encouraging people to do that. Now, I didn't get paid for this project. It was just a thing because I've lived in the city for so long. But there have been many opportunities for governments to involve themselves in promoting a message that helps to comfort their citizenry, that helps to educate their citizenry, and it's not always so bad. See? That's kind of the stuff that you might see on Nuance. Maybe my personal experiences understanding a more nuanced topic. I'd also like to get into some more stuff about some of the accusations that have been hoisted upon me. And foisted or hoisted? Hoisted? Foisted? Anyways, I don't want this going more than 20 minutes, so I'm going to wrap it up. But thank you guys so much for hanging with me. We got some amazing things coming up after the Chinese New Year. After I get the CCTV footage all assembled, I'll upload this stuff, this channel, this video raw. And take it easy, guys. Enjoy your Chinese New Year if you are. And looking forward to some really amazing stuff coming up. If you want to follow me currently, I do post more on my Patreon than I have been on the YouTube channel the last few days. I think that the future of this channel might not be as daily content-wise. I'm trying to spread this CCTV story out along a longer period of time, and so when that stuff does start coming out, you'll see it kind of coming out less daily and maybe more 2 or 3 times, maybe 3 times a week. And 3 times a week, maybe 2 stuff on Nuance, 2 in-depth, fairly interesting topics, hopefully, on Nuance. But we'll talk more about that later. Right now, I just wanted to say hi. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all safe. Enjoy your day. Hug your loved ones if you can. If you're call your loved ones, virtual hug your loved ones, and we'll talk to you later. 再见. Bye bye.